Okay, fellas, here she is. Really easy little mod. Put a screen on there to keep the wires from getting knocked into the fan. Took it out of a cooking screen. It was pretty easy to do. I took a piece of paper. I laid it on the bench. I took the receiver. I turned it upside down. I traced around it with a pencil. Then I took a Sharpie and I traced that line out. Then I took the cooking screen and I laid it over this paper flat. And I took the same Sharpie and I just drew the line onto the screen. I cut it out with a little pair of scissors. I used my sprue nippers to cut the little holes for the screws. You just got to remove a couple of the little strands. I'm not sure how good this is going to show up in the video, but that's pretty fine mesh screen on there, but it's still going to allow a lot of airflow. I don't think that's going to be any problem. So anyway, a while back, I had picked up a set of these at Harbor Freight, just a nut and bolt assortment. So I found a size of wood screw that fit right in that hole. It cut little threads in there. It was just perfect. So I took some of those little screws. I used my trusty leftover from the model railroading days rail nippers. You could use any kind of wire cutters or whatever, especially if you use Harbor Freight screws. They're kind of soft, cheap metal, so they cut pretty easy. I cleaned them up a little bit on the end with the Dremel. Just made them maybe 1/8 inch of threads or so. Just kind of eyeballed it. It's not really a big deal. Laid the screen on there, ran the screws in. Before I ran the screws in, I took a hole screw and used that. I ran it in a little ways just to kind of start the threads, kind of like a tap, just to kind of cut some threads in there to get started with. And then I just ran the screws down. I'm going to take this off so that you can see the screws and how the holes look now. Like I said, this is a spare receiver, so this screen won't be going on here anyway. Now once you get it all locked down, this is a great thing about cooking screen, it's really malleable. So once it's all locked down with the screws, I just took my thumb and just bent over the edges and it just formed itself right to the receiver. So there's the little screws. I'm not sure how good those will show up on the video. You can see I just shortened them up. If you're smart, you'll run down to the hardware store and get the proper size screw to start with. So there's the screen. It's just a piece of cooking screen. You can see here how transparent it is. See my finger behind there. And that's it. That's going to keep the wires out of my fan. Okay. Hope that helps. See you next time.